Hey everyone, and welcome back to BMX News, a weekly BMX news show where I talk about everything that happened in the previous week within the world of BMX that I think you guys might care about. This is a live BMX news show where I talk about everything from the previous week, and we've got a bunch of people in the chat already. Stony from Old Fat Guy BMX, Taco Slurpees, Kevin Jackson in the chat. This week, we have some things to talk about, sponsorship news, all kinds of good stuff. So let's get right on into it with a reminder about the 5-tap challenge that I have going on. Basically, if you haven't heard of it yet and you like to do 5 taps, you have until Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to get a 5-tap posted on Instagram with the tag 5-tap challenge right here for a chance to win $100 as well as a Kink Desist brake set or an Odyssey brake set. We have Kink and Odyssey supporting this challenge, so I'm super stoked on that. I'm going to be live at 8:30 or 9, maybe even 8 Monday night. Not 100% sure on that yet, but I'll be picking the winner around 9 with a special guest. I've got a special guest coming on. I need to turn up the volume. Thanks for the reminder. I got a special guest coming on Monday with me. I'm stoked for that. We're both going to be taking a look. People like Corey Martinez and Morgan Wade have gotten in on this. Joe Battaglia has gotten in on this. Alan Sibley, a 50-year-old shredder from over in the UK, is in on this. And there's over 25 entries so far. So if you can do 5 taps and you want a chance at $100 and a set of brakes, go on to your local skate park, go wherever you need to go, do a 5-tap, film it, post it with the tag 5-tap challenge. Maddie Kramer even did one. How crazy. So moving on from there, the GT RAD series complete. So this is a 29er that has RAD theme all over it, has a RAD theme. I can't talk today. I can't ever talk. It's 10 a.m. Sorry about the volume there. I always forget I have to change it. Lots of RAD branding going on here. Stony, Old Fat Guy BMX in the chat, already has one of these. And I anticipate that this could be a collector's item in the future. But as far as the bike goes, I mean, it's a 29er with RAD branding on it. I have mixed feelings. Interesting. Let me know your mixed feelings, Stony. But this exists. It's $800. Albies, I think, might have one. So yeah, there's that. Moving on from there, we've got some sponsorship news to talk about this week. Bryce Tryon, after 7 years on Monster Army, has now been put on Monster Energy. It took 7 years for this kid of absolutely ripping to finally get bumped up to that pro team, I guess you could say. I think I'm the only rider that doesn't care about the movie RAD. I'm not going to say my opinion because I've only seen it once, and it wasn't a thing for me as a kid, so like I don't have the attachment to it. That being said, quick video. Bryce talks about it a little bit. There's some riding in here. It's pretty good. Moving on from there, Martin Shershin is welcomed to Stress. This video is fun. There's some creative stuff in here. One of the opening clips is pretty sweet. Little Stephen Hamilton box slide to fakie, and then he does a fakie whip. Pretty sweet. There's a lot of other good stuff in here as well. Some creative writing, and it's just well done. You get to see a little bit of his personality in here too, which I thought was cool. Moving on from there, this is the one I was gonna make the title about this. I want to know, first of all, how you people feel about bike throwing. How do people feel about bike throwing? If you're watching this post live stream, let me know in the comments. How do you feel about bike throwing? And then, how do you feel about straight up throwing your bike at the thing that you're riding on multiple different spots and occasions in a video promoting the company that makes the parts on the bike that you're riding? Like, look at right here. Like, I get, okay, I'm not a fan. Look at this. Like, you're just totally screwing up your frame. But I get if the passion of trying a trick overwhelms you for a second and you throw your bike. But this is something different. And this is this dude's welcome to the paid pro team video. Bike throwing and having temper tantrums in general is stupid. This is this guy's welcome to the paid pro team video, and it's just an entire montage of him completely just disrespecting the parts that he's given by this company. And not to mention, they're going to have to replace them too, because you can't ride at the level that this guy rides at. Like, dropping off of stuff like that with parts that are half bent because you threw your fucking bike at the ground. Like, come on. Most times I've seen Joe Jarvis, he's usually pretty drunk. The guy's an absolute savage on his bike, but I'm not even going to make a judgment call here. I'm just going to say, like, this is something different. I don't have any idea, but this is not just like passion overwhelming you for a second and you like throwing your bike in a fit of rage because it's been 2 hours. This is, I'm going to destroy my bike on the rail, and then I'm going to try and ride the rail. Sometimes being brutal with yourself gives you the courage to get it done, which is fair, but like, to an extent, is that what, I mean, apparently that's what Federal wants to promote in their video, because that's what we first see. Maybe it's a statement. Our stuff is so strong that this dude can throw it at rails and throw it at the ground and still do the trick afterwards. But then we have to replace it after because it's just dangerous, and we don't want to kill this guy who we don't pay enough to have health insurance. Actually, things are probably different where he's from, but in the US that would be the case. Anyways, enough on that. Let me know your thoughts on this. Watch the first part of this video. Throws bike, weakens structural integrity, causes catastrophic failure, wonders why. I'm curious what people think about this. Just watch the first couple minutes. The last clip's crazy. He does a giant X-up grind. The dude's an amazing bike rider, but like, to what extent is this the thing that we want to promote? Moving on. Brock Ray for Dad on the Odyssey site. Jacob Cable bike check. I wasn't really sure where to throw this in this week. It's just a list of the parts that he has on his bike and a bunch of pictures of it. And one thing that I do think is cool about this list is that it does list the kink parts that are on his bike. Some companies just don't list the other company's stuff that's on the person's bike. Next, into the videos from this week. They go from pretty short to pretty dang long too. So we got a quick video called Oh Sunny Day and Grass So Green from Tony Cherry for date night. This is a quick street riding video, Tony Cherry. Moving on from there, I came out with an edit this week, and I'm pretty freaking stoked on it. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I'm curious to hear your thoughts if you go and take a look at it. I used a comedy bit as the soundtrack instead of just like a song. Possible unpopular opinion. I really don't like black and white video parts. That's a personal thing, I think. Like Anthem was black and white. Curious to hear what people think about this one and not using like a traditional just song with singing and whatever in it. Next up, Montana Ricky and Scotty HD, which is his filmer and really great filmer. Have an edit that came out this week. Check it out if you guys want to. Cole Grove in the chat. Yeah, he's kind of local to Tony, I think. At least closer than I am. But he's from Ohio-ish area. Next up, an edit with Troy Harradine. It's a Colony edit. He does a fakie front flip at the end, and the vibes for this one, it's got indie rock as the soundtrack. This video literally could have came out in like, I don't know, 2007 or 8 with the kind of the riding and the vibe and the song to it, and it would have fit perfectly. Not saying it's bad or anything. It's a great video. So if that's your vibe, check it out. Next up, a video with Pat Casey and Bryce Tryon riding the Dream Yard in Riverside, California. Then we've got a quick like video kind of documentation of the riding that went down at the Let's Roast Cycles pop-up shop at Four Seasons. It says What's it say here? To combat the harsh Chicago winter, we've been bringing the shop up to the legendary Four Seasons skate park of Milwaukee. Come catch a session and freshen up your whip. Next pop-up is Saturday, February 19th. There you go. 2 hours from Indy. Gotcha. If I could get free bikes, I might throw them around on purpose. I only throw my bike when I'm trying to get out of its way. Dennis, I did see that, and I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to reply to your email letting me know about it, but yeah, Maddie Kramer did the 5-tap challenge. Stoked on that. If you're in the area of Milwaukee this weekend, they're having one of these pop-up shops. This video is a bunch of riding that happened at the last one, I'm assuming. So check it out if you're not going to be at Ray's for Women's Weekend. Next up, someone who was in the last video, Isaiah Johnson. This video is for Cole. It's called Anywhere and Everywhere, and it's a good video. Lots of technical stuff, good big burly stuff in here as well. He's been working on it for 2 years now. Pretty cool. Check it out. It's a little bit longer. It's almost 6 minutes. So if you want a little bit longer video to watch, that's the one. Then we've got Thank You Ramp Tramps Volume 2. They're riding the or one of the Thank You headquarters, and Hilario Olivos is in here, Jack Hinnicky, JP Ross, some familiar faces and names you might have heard of. This one's almost, it's 7.5 minutes long, so there's that if you guys want to check out a little bit longer one. Then we've got like a much longer video, and it's kind of like a extended cut and more than just went into a video from when Hobie Doan went up into Michigan with Trent Lutzk. So this one is like, it's 1740. So if you want a much longer video this week, this is the one for you. It's called The In-Between. It's episode 1, and it's called Sick of Home, featuring Hobie Doan, and basically just seems like an extended cut to the video that he was in with them previously. Isaiah is so good and such an awesome guy. I've met him a couple times, like very briefly. He seemed cool. Then we got one product related thing to talk about this week. Louis Colacion promoting the Rose frame from Sabrosa. Lots of technical stuff in here. This 360 front tire bonk down the stair set on an upright post. Pretty wild. Moving on from there. Mongoose. Oh, this is the interview type stuff, by the way. Mongoose, Kevin Peraza, day in the life. Going through Kevin Peraza's day in his life. Starting with an acai bowl, going to a sesh, then going to his trainer, then going to another sesh, and all with a smile on his face. Kevin Peraza is awesome, and I'm pretty stoked on what like Mongoose is doing with BMX in the last few years. They're like trying to really be a BMX company. It's cool. Not trying to be, they are being. Sorry. Next up, we've got a much longer one if you want to hear the story of Tyrone Williams. Boom, we got a member notification in the chat. I'll mention that in a second. Tyrone Williams, it's over, 23 minutes long of him telling his story. Tyrone is the owner of the shop, and he kind of just goes through his whole story of how he got into BMX, growing up riding, and then starting the shop and everything, and some things, like some real stories in there, and he's not holding anything back, and it's a pretty good story. So if you want to see something from someone you may have heard of, like the name of the place but not the person, this could be a thing to check out. So member notification, 5 months, JDA. Thank you for 5 months as a member. If you guys don't know what the membership thing is, basically there's a join button pretty much right below where I'm pointing, and if you click that, you can choose a different level of support. You get put into the Discord group where you can chat and hit me up at any time, basically, and support me directly in what I'm doing, and just help make it easier for me to do things like this at 10 a.m. instead of being at a day job and having to work to support and not be able to make as many videos like this or be able to do it at all. So that's that. Why do you ride pegs on one side of bike only? Mainly because that's just all I've gotten to so far. I'll put 4 pegs on eventually to try it for a while, but not yet. Then A lot of you probably already saw this, but Scotty Kramer stopped at the Laird Frame headquarters and filmed a video with Mike, pretty much going through and talking about his whole process of how he builds a frame and showing where he does it. And it's like almost 30 minutes long, so if you want something much longer to watch and you somehow haven't seen this yet and you want like insight into actually building BMX frames and things, this is a pretty cool video to watch. Scotty's very thoughtful of a person, and he's good with the questions that he asks to get good info about this process. So take a look at that if you guys want to. And that being said, that's the last thing we have to talk about this week. So shout out to everybody who's here in the live stream. I do these at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. And hopefully we'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully if you enjoyed this enough, you'll hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. So we'll see you tomorrow for another video. Also, let me know your favorite thing in the comments down below. Let me know how you feel about bike throwing and the bike throwing at the level that was in that video that we talked about. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for another video. Go to Raise this weekend. Women's weekend, always a good time. Be there.